Whew. Where are my commentators?
I'll comment. I got a direct line with the refs now. We got some communication. Just say whatever they say.
Well, do you have an earpiece for them or not? So you listen to all their mics, are you? But can you talk to them?
If you put in like an earpiece with a mic, it just starts screaming in your ear. It's horrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. But it's fair because if I was talking like this and they could hear me going like, oh yeah, oh, they would just be dead.
Do you think they should mic up professional referees for TV?
For VAR, I would say so. I think so.
Yeah. I still really enjoyed watching that Jared Gillette video. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, that was
4 games to start, or all 4 rounds to start the season, but this is a very, very interesting one. The atmosphere around the ground is interesting, to say the least, but from a footballing perspective, it's going to be much the same. I think Oakleigh, of course, they've been really, really impressive to start the season. Their only falter, a 0-0 draw with South Melbourne with a red card to attribute to that. Green Gully, of course, picking up their first win last week with a fantastic result over Heidelberg, coming from behind, in fact, from 1-0 down. So both sides have a lot to play for. Oakleigh looking to continue, and Green Gully looking to get back into the form we saw last season.
Well, again, as we said, the sombre atmosphere is pretty much shared across all of world sport at the moment, and sort of some unknown days still to come as well with this coronavirus and then how it's all affected everything. But tonight we're going to focus on enjoying some football, and hopefully it's not the last time we say that for a few weeks at least. But we'll go through the line through quickly as we're about to kick off here. For Oakleigh Cannons, in goals, number 1 Nick Feely, number 11 Wade Decker returns to the starting lineup of his goal last week, number 23 Matthew Fashini, number 10 Joe Guest, number 8 Tyson Holmes, number 2 Thomas Matthews the captain, number 13 Hamish Miller, number 7 Ryan Pachkowski, number 18 Lucas Portelli returns to the starting lineup after his suspension, number 5 Scott Robertson, and number 16 Harry White on the bench, number 14 Marcus Diamanchi, number 5 Oliver Kubilay, number 3 Ramazan Kazantioglu, number 19 Goran Zoric, of course scored off the bench last week, and number 31 the substitute goalkeeper George Suramanis. So again, Green Gully on the early attack here. Of course, the big out for tonight for the Oakleigh Cannons. Joe Knowles, of course, went down injured last week against the Altona Magic. A massive loss, especially considering his form in the early stage of the season. We'll go through the Green Gully lineup quickly for us, though, as well. Of course, in goals, number 1, Jared Tyson. Number 25, Jeremy Walker, the captain. Number 9, Alex Salmon. Number 6, Steph Nigro. Number 3, Jordan Lampard. Number 5, Daniel Jones. Number 4, Jordan Hall. Number 8, Nicholas Georgopoulos. Number 14, Matthew Fletcher. Number 7, Jay Davies. And number 12, Christian Baimora. On the bench, number 17, Adisiu Bayu. Number 16, Waleed Falafel. Number 15, Harry Ho. Number 21, Keegan Clive, I hope I've said that correctly, and number 22 Aaron Schill. So again, 2 very strong lineups here, Ed. Of course, as we said, the Oakleigh Cannons losing Joe Knowles has been such a great pickup for them so far this season. Of course, could be a hindrance, but again, Wade Decker coming into the lineup, it's great to have that type of depth in the squad, isn't it?
Well, watching the first game of the season at Jacket Reserve, Oakleigh versus Avondale, we mentioned the fact that Wade Decker was coming off the bench. Definitely not a bad player to be coming off the bench for Oakleigh, but as you mentioned, Joe Knowles is going down with injury, and he's been really, really impressive coming into the Oakleigh side. And just a little bit of extra legs, a little bit of extra pace going forward, and that's exactly what exactly what Oakleigh would need.
Well, strong challenge there early. In Portelli, of course, as we said, just coming back from suspension. He's the one who goes into the book. Well, doesn't go into the book just yet, but might be soon after that challenge.
He'd be a bit upset going in that early, surely.
Again, you look at the Green Gully lineup as well, and of course a massive result last week. Alex Salmon, of course, spearheading that attacking quartet there with so many goals last season. Jeremy Walker has been playing as more midfielder as well. He started in there tonight, so again a little bit of A-League experience in there as well. Usually a fullback traditionally. We'll stay with play just momentarily here as the free kick is whipped in high towards the back post, but that is carried all the way out and out for a goal kick. So again for Green Gully, I think it was a season which, there was a little bit of promise in pre-season, a little bit of talk about them potentially being a side that can push for the top 6, and then a disappointing first few games, maybe put a bit of the pressure on, but a great result last week against Heidelberg to get themselves back onto winning ways.
It was fantastic, and I think it was the manner of the goals as well. It was clinical. I know the second one came with a little bit of fortune, but it was the pressure, I think, in that second half, and it was such an impressive kind of testament to their character as well. The fact they were able to come back into it after going behind. It's super, super tough, especially when you're maybe not getting the results at the start of the season. To get a result like that is a season booster for sure.
Well, of course, Matthew Fletcher, the hero last week, with a double in the last 20 minutes to win that game against Heidelberg. Again, any side beating Heidelberg these days is a great feat, of course. Such a successful side in the Victorian top flight over the last few years, especially in the NPL era. Now Lampard, he looks to drive inwards here with the ball. Tried to spear a central pass inside, it was cleared away. Strong headed down there from Jones. Decker, first real contribution here, of course, last week came off the bench for Knowles late in that first half, scored a goal early in the second. It was dangerous throughout, and as we said earlier, great depth player to have. This is a player who scored in the under A-League, played for Melbourne City. That ball over the top now to White. Another one who was dangerous last week, Tommy Matthews with the early cross. But that time it's blocked inside, and a chance to drive forward here for Davies, who of course is one of the major threats here. Now that's a shallow back pass. It's been sold out to Alex Salmon, and he just couldn't quite get the pace on the shot there. Nick Feely maybe just did enough to put him off, and a good clearance off the line there, meaning it goes out for a corner kick.
Perhaps a little bit of miscommunication there between the Oakleigh defenders and the goalkeeper, and Alex Salmon is not the man you want jumping on those loose balls. We know how deadly he was. 21 goals last season for Green Gully. Really, really impressive for him.
Of course, so far this season, Alex Salmon hasn't quite been able to hit his straps in front of goal just yet. Only getting the 2 penalties against St Albans so far. He'll be looking to potentially get himself back onto the goal scoring sheet today. Now Jeremy Walker on the edge of the area whips in dangerously to the back post, but Feely does that all day long and looks to throw quickly out, and Tyson Holmes on the ball, another one who had a really strong game last week. I think the interesting thing, he hadn't actually been on the call for that game against the Altona Magic, was just the experience factor for Oakleigh. Altona, despite getting done by 5 goals, still actually had a fair bit of the ball at times and looked half dangerous, but the difference from Oakleigh was they were just so clinical in the final third and also so resolute at the back. It just makes such a big difference having the experience. If you look at their midfield, Matthew Fashini, Tyson Holmes and Joe Guest, you'll struggle to find a more experienced and higher quality midfield in any of the NPL leagues in all around Australia.
Well, 2 gold medal winners, if I'm correct, with Tyson Holmes and Joe Guest. Obviously, Tyson Holmes coming from Bentley Greens last season, and if you ever manage to catch a game with Tyson Holmes live, you'll hear how vocal he is. He absolutely sprays some people, sometimes friendly, sometimes not, but it's exactly what the experience looks like.
Actually, a player who I spent a little bit of time with at South Melbourne back in the day, and again was when he was just starting up his career in the Victorian top flight back in 2013, but was always a leader on and off the field, and of course has gone on to achieve so much in this Victorian game. Matthews just clipped that ball over the top and gained some territory there, and he does win a throw. Again, you look at the Oakleigh Cannons line, as you said, just so much experience across the park. Holmes now looks to whip into the back post. Guest was underneath it, so Pachkowski rather. So Jared Tyson just casually strolls out, picks that up one-handed. Of course, another player of A-League experience, extended A-League experience, Jared Tyson. Rumours had it as well that there was some interest from overseas to try and get his services, particularly in Malaysia. But the club didn't want to let him go, and in the end, stayed put. As Jones looks out wide there with that pass, and now potentially a chance to come forwards. Now again Daniel Jones with a bit of time on the ball here. Playing it back to the goalkeeper. Wasn't a great back pass though, and Tyson had to just get himself under the ball and smash it quick. There is a quite strong wind going towards the Green Gully attacking end, so we'll see if they can use that to their effect tonight. Now it looks like they'll get on the ball in Negro on the ball, gets it out wide. Maybe a chance to potentially whip this ball in. Blocked. Tries for a handball, not given. In the end, it's going to be a throw. It does sound like, I believe, it sounds like we're back with our audio. So, if you have just joined us, hopefully you've been clear with hearing us throughout this whole game. If you have been watching without the sound, I mean, I do apologise. It must be difficult having to listen to us old scathy commentators out here on a cold Friday night, but hopefully we're able to stay with you for the majority of the rest of this game. Of course, has been quite locked here. No real chances so far as the ball goes over the top and out behind for a goal kick there. Again, neither side really has been too progressive, I think, in the final third. A fair bit of possession's been held. Oakleigh probably looks a little bit more comfortable, especially midfield, but haven't really been able to turn those chances into creating goal-scoring opportunities.
No, and I think, you know, it's strange for Oakleigh. You can see Joe Guest stepping into almost a defensive line to receive that ball, maybe looking to create something, but you can see the line Green Gully's holding. It's nice indeed. They're following the runs of the Oakleigh players, so interesting to see which style of play either side tries to adopt. Wade Decker just in an offside position there, but I think it's just going to be about not becoming frustrated and just kind of relaxing into the game a little bit.
Again, the final ball, I think, has been a little bit of the issue for both sides so far. Green Gully would be happy with their start here. I think they've been quite comfortable, haven't really been tested too much defensively. Of course, had that early half chance with Alex Salmon nipping in on a poor back pass. Probably the best chance of the game so far, you would say. And again, they've got another chance here on a set piece. Jay Davies will go across and look to take it. There's a number of players getting forward into the box, the likes of Daniel Jones slowly trudging forward. Jordan Hall as well. Two central defenders. This would be a fantastic way to come into the ascendancy here as the ball's played short in front of Walker. It's the first time. It's a dangerous low ball, still not dealt with. In the end, it is out for another corner.
They've run that set piece corner twice in a row now. Let's see if they go for it for a third, and if they do, shame on Oakleigh, I'll say.
Again, surely you'd be thinking that this would be set up. You can see Wade Decker's just dropped in there to pick up on this short corner, so Davies is forced to whip in. It was a dangerous ball as well, really flat into the box. Wasn't dealt with effectively. Negro will strike from a long way. Bad strike as well. Just zipping over the bar and out for a goal kick.
I think from our angle it looked extremely close, but I think it may have been a little bit further away than we think, perhaps.
Again, Steph Negro, what a way to reintroduce himself to the top flight here in Victoria. Of course, sitting out at right back tonight, of course, usually was more of a central midfielder at this level before moving on to the A-League. But you can just see here now he's tucked back into what has more or less been his natural position the last few seasons, of course, the victory in Brisbane Roar. He'll be on this throw here. Of course, there is one other game tonight around the grounds as well. Heidelberg United taking on Dandenong City. Of course, both those sides wanting to bounce back from difficult results last weekend. But now it is still 0-0 at that game, so no goals as yet so far. And on the Friday night NPL Victoria broadcasts. Now Joe Guest there, brought down from behind by Daniel Jones. Johnny Walker taking a long time to move back off that ball there. And now it is a set piece opportunity here again, and Joe Guest can whip this ball in. Guest looks for a driven delivery into the back post, flicks centrally, comes down, Holmes couldn't quite get there, and then it's cleared away. Time and space here for Feely though to get onto the ball.
Line's got to stay!
And then the goalkeeper elects to go long under some pressure there. Jones heading clear. Strong away header from Robertson. Now Guest doing really well to use his body. That wasn't a foul. In the meantime, Green Gully can come forward here through Georgopoulos. drive forward. Whites. Play that pass better. There could have been a bit of space for a counter there. And Matthews goes through very hard. And that's going to be a free kick.
Matthews being told by the fourth official, you're nowhere near the ball, and I think that may be an accurate description, Brandon. He's protesting it, but for no reason at this point.
Tommy Matthews, of course, certainly an animated figure. Never shy of going in hard for a challenge. He's been playing in Victoria football for so long now, better part of the whole decade. Now that's a great ball, great touch as well, and it's a great opening goal, and who else but Alex Salmon is the man who scores for the Green Gully. And while that is a fantastic finish, a wonderful delivery into the box, seemed like it came from absolutely nowhere, but the poise and composure to get that ball down and then bury it past the goalkeeper is absolutely top class. And Green Gully, out of nowhere, lead by a goal to nil.
Well, there's a pinging ball from Jordan Lampard on the left foot. He's gone straight across the ground and it's met the chest of Alex Salmon. He's brought it down so well. First impressions, I thought it might have been a bit of a heavy touch, but he's regained a little bit of pace and slotted it past freely. Fantastic start for Green Gully. They've struggled to get on the ball and struggled to start chances, but from a set piece, always going to be dangerous.
His first goal from open play, Alex Salmon this season, in my word, a well-taken strike into the corner past the goalkeeper, but the touch and composure on that was really the area which was so impressive. And well, Oakleigh, they've had a few half chances, but haven't really been able to make it count, and Green Gully certainly looking aside. They're up and about at the moment, and what have Oakleigh got in the locker? Of course, last week had it so easy against Altona Magic. Not really tested at all. Now, we're just going to see what the medal is like here, and Salmon is not someone who you want to be up and about, especially as an opposing side. Such a great finish, wasn't it, Ed?
It was fantastic. I think the control with the chest was what made that goal, and then to get back onto it and to compose himself was fantastic. And it sums up Alex Salmon. I think that type of finish. You mentioned the fact he had the 2 goals. That brings it to 3 for the season, and it probably would have been where we all expect him to be at this point in the season as well, with multiple goals. We know how successful he was last season, so perhaps a confidence booster for Alex Salmon to get a goal on the board from open play as well.
Great football there from Oakleigh. Ball clipped in over the top as well, but Joe Tyson quick off his line. Did well to get out there first to it. Now Tyson is just going to look up here. He's going to put it onto the ground and then drive a high long ball over the top. Fletcher underneath it. Matthews, a bit of experience there to allow it to go out for a throw. Takes it quickly. Pachkowski, Holmes, good forward pass. Guest. Good football being played here by Oakleigh. Again, Matthews with a driving ball over the top. He ends up almost finding Decker in the end. It's all who clears. Of course, they were both teammates together in the National Youth League Championship winning side for Melbourne City back in 2015. Jordan Hall and Wade Decker. Played the NPL together as well, in NPL 2 that season. Now it is a set-piece opportunity though. Pachkowski whips in towards the near post. Didn't quite get there to Tyson. In the end it was cleared off the goal line. And well, did just enough to get that away. It was Fletcher in the end. And a real escape there for the Green Gully.
I think it might have just nicked off a Green Gully defender, and Tyson not anticipating. He jumped to reach for the ball, but the ball never reached him. So he's on the floor, outstretched in a no man's land. And fortunately for Green Gully, it fell to one of their own feet before clearing it away, but agonisingly close there for Oakleigh.
Well, certainly was a massive opportunity there for Oakleigh to equalise. The ball's flicked on. Now Portelli's just been screwed to keep that alive. Now Robertson looking to come forward. Of course, one of the few NPL sides who have 2 brand new central defenders. Both have been impressive so far this season, you've got to say. Of course, the depth on the bench with the likes of Ramazan Tavzan-Kioglu, who stepped in last week. Experienced veteran. Robertson. Holmes to bounce, lost it. Salmon on the ball now, could be a chance to break. Just couldn't get the right on his play forwards towards Fletcher.
Oh.
Shallow pass there on the back door by Robertson. And in the end now, an opportunity for Fletcher again. We're really starting to look up and about here, Ed.
They're pressing Oakleigh a little bit. You heard the disdain from Joe Guess as that ball fell short, as you mentioned. But Green Gully, they're looking like they're applying the pressure to Oakleigh. Even going up 1-0, they're still keeping tabs on the Oakleigh midfield and the Oakleigh pace as well.
Lampard, another spearing ball over the top. In the end, it's headed clear. Forces Salmon on the edge of the box now. Turns, great pass, Georgopoulos into the area! Oh, and he really should have scored. Unbelievable to think that he was actually onside and clear there. I think the Oakleigh Cannons players just thought he had to be off, but Georgopoulos in the end has really got to make sure that he finishes that. My word, Green Gully should have been 2-0 up there, Ed.
Well, either finish it, Brandon, or at least get it on target and force a save. It looks like he almost fell over as he was looking to take that shot, but skying it over the crossbar, no danger from that instance, but danger in an overall picture there for Oakleigh.
Well, the Oakleigh Cannons are the type of side you need to take your chances against them because they can absolutely punish you in the final third. And although Georgopoulos is not naturally a goal-scoring player, anyone at this level with that much time and space in the area has simply got to get that shot on target. But very encouraging signs so far from Green Gully. Defending resolutely at the moment as well. Sheeny. Jackson and Portelli combining together. Kess cuts inside. Looks to drive across midfield, but you see it's a big blockage in front of the ball. Green Gully happy for Oakleigh to have the ball here. Long ball over the top, easily intercepted there by Tyson. Not really any answers at the moment to that defensive blockade.
Well, Oakleigh, they're almost forced to play that long ball and meeting the open arms of Jared Tyson in the Green Gully goal, but it's the defensive setup from Green Gully as Ryan Pachkowski just offside there. It's defensive setup of Green Gully to sit so many back, but then have, as you mentioned, the blockade in the midfield, so the three of Oakleigh almost have to try and run around and create chances, but there's really nothing going for them, so you almost have to lob it over the Oakleigh midfield to find a player, but that, of course, isn't a very consistent option.
Well, and here's going to be Jared Tyson on this free kick again for the offside. Long ball over the top. Contest out there in the end. Referee hasn't given it. And now a chance to come forward. The Green Gully coaching staff up in arms about that one. Now it's Pachkowski. Wide area here. Isolated one-on-one with his fullback. He does whip a low ball into the box, but again, not able to hit the first man. Stevie Laurie absolutely antics there on the bench regarding that decision. Just asking if there's any chance of a foul. The fourth official is categoric in saying, Stevie, just sit down, mate. To be fair, he's not a man I want to upset, Stevie Laurie. He's an absolute unit out there. Big man. Compromising centre-back back in his day. Robertson on the ball for Sheeny. Matthews trying to flick it over the top there towards Decker. Fletcher in the end with the half clearance. Headed down a second time, but not able to retain the ball. And Salmon under some pressure here from Portelli. Tried to beat his man. Portelli big and strong, the youngster. Now a chance for Decker to drive forward here. Gets it out to Fashini. Ball down, Scythe down there, and that time there is a foul given. I think there was no real option for the referee. Good set piece opportunity here. No card given though, Ed.
Well, I think it's maybe the referee just deciding to keep it in his pocket and not to escalate things too early, but Fashini not regularly a wide play, but he's found himself in a good position there, and if he wasn't brought down, I think he would have had a really good opportunity to get a ball into the box and to create a chance for Oakleigh. It was Joe Guest who was streaming in and likely to get on the end of it.
Ball whipped into the middle, it comes out to the back. Oh, what a save from Jared Tyson. Absolutely incredible goalkeeping. It took a deflection as well. It's bouncing right into the top corner. But he had to absolutely spring himself up there and claw that out of the net. Incredible goalkeeping.
Tell you what, it looked like the ball was moving in slow motion, but Jared Tyson was like a flash, meeting that one with his right hand, his offhand perhaps, and getting a hand to it and pushing it away.
Now a chance here for Guest. Getting in towards the edge of the box and strike as well, but just rolls wide. Oakleigh starting to push some buttons here, but so far Gully able to resist to the minute.
Starting to become a bit of an interesting game. Yeah, it's entertaining. Both teams not afraid to take it to each other. They're creating chance. Interesting to see how Gully's going to respond to this to the Oakleigh pressure.
Well, Jared Tyson stands over this. Of course, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, a very experienced goalkeeper. Maybe hasn't had the start of the season which he would have expected. A few little errors have crept in here and there, but certainly on his day, one of the very best in the NPL Victoria. Now the ball comes out here to Salmon on the turn, under some pressure, flicks over the top, great pass, Fletcher, he's onside, Matthew Fletcher, and that time there puts it over the bar, but apparently off a defender. So it will be a corner kick, and again Gully, the brilliance of Alex Salmon, second time now he's picked out a pass in the final third and found his man. That time it was Fletcher. Difficult chance, but a really good opportunity.
It was a fantastic block there by the Oakleigh defender at the end of the day to slide in to get a foot on it. Matthew Fletcher maybe not having any option but to shoot, but again, it's the Gully counter-attack, or not even the counter-attack, maybe just a long ball forward and finding chances and taking advantage of maybe Oakleigh cannons pushing a little bit too far up, but it's end-to-end stuff here at Jack Edwards Reserve.
The corner kick here to be taken by Jay Davies. He whips that ball in high up and under, probably too high, it looks like. And in the end, out for a goal kick. Disappointing there in the end, because it was certainly a good opportunity for him to whip the ball into the box. Another one who probably hasn't really been able to get himself as involved in the game as they would like, Jay Davies. Another one, such prestigious talent. On his day, can be absolutely unstoppable. Decker does well in the end to get the ball out to Pachkowski. High ball into the box again, sits up in towards White, falls to Matthews, who drives forward towards the high line there. In the end, it's deflected and cleared away. Now Decker. Back here, Pachkowski. Tries to flick it through there, but it's going to be another throw for Oakleigh. Just got to think here for Gully, if they can hold out until half time. It'll be such a massive boost going into the break. The last thing you want to do is concede a late goal in the first half, especially after being so positive so far for them. Guess though, driving in towards the touchline again, dispossessed well. Walk up, half clearance, deflects inside towards the Gully player. Again, it's cleared away. Sheeny underneath it though, intercepted. Gully in the end managed to maintain possession. Walker all over the top. Rather trying to get himself onto that, but Robinson did well. Salmon, good strong challenge. Stop going out for a goal kick. Gully now looking to just try and box them in here. That's the type of run you want from your number 9, chasing down absolutely everything.
That's one of the great arts of football. There's two great arts, which is time wasting in the corner flag and chasing down someone who's trying to shepherd the ball out. Well done, Alex Salmon.
Chasing lost causes, I think they called it. Certainly did his duties there. Alex Salmon, of course, is the only goal scorer so far midway through this first half. Sensational chested down and finish from a long ball into the box from Jordan Lampard. At the moment, they've got the ball right where they want it. Gully high in their attacking third, away from the Oakleigh Cannons attacking end. Guest, in the end is fouled. He's been battered around a bit tonight so far, Joe Guest. And there is a yellow card, a first of the game. And he's going to go to Jordan Lampard, it looks like.
You mentioned the fact Joe Guest is going to get buckled a bit. I think that comes with the prestige of having a golden medal around your neck. So obviously his second season in the NPL. Everyone was a little bit starstruck last season, but they know what they're getting this season.
Ball in from Pachkowski, again deflected and into the arms of Jared Tyson. Tries for a corner kick, not heeded to. Again, Joe Guest, he's really getting himself onto the ball in some good areas now. And that's where he is just so dangerous. Tyson, bit of a up under slice there from the clearance. Played forwards now by Oakleigh. Comes down as a second ball. Lampard. That touch there was poor.
You mentioned the fact Joe Guest is getting himself in good positions. I think it looks like it's almost a 4-2-3-1 for Oakleigh, but the three are rolling in between and they're going back and forth. Wouldn't mind seeing Wade Decker get on the ball a little bit. We see him out wide on the right, but he's come in the middle a few times. Wouldn't mind seeing him get on the ball in the central of the wide areas and creating chances. We know how dangerous he can be.
Well, they're just really struggling to get their wingers involved around the goal so far tonight. Oakleigh, possession in central areas, but really, really solid defensive work from the Green Gully side. Now that ball into the box again overhit, and that's been a story of the night for the Oakleigh Cannons. Tom Matthews has been quite adventurous in getting forward, but just hasn't really been able to punch her in with some good deliveries. Now the ball over the top. And headed down again, Guest. Just see very narrow Oakleigh though when they're winning the ball. Decker almost coming in right close to Harry White. You see it even here now, playing really centrally at the moment, Wade Decker. He starts to move himself out into a wide area. Meantime, the ball's played over the top and after a goal kick. And as I said, Oakleigh just haven't really had any answers to this really resolute, compact defensive structure that Green Gully have come out with tonight.
I mean, you mentioned the fact that Oakleigh aren't able to necessarily get out wide, but I think it's the narrow structure of Green Gully which is causing them to maybe push a little bit too far wide and then not able to get the ball in when they have the chance. I think they're getting in decent positions when they find players like Tom Matthews on the right hand side. He's pushing up, he's doing his role as a fullback, but it's not getting the ball in, which is the issue when they do have those limited opportunities due to Green Gully's narrow structure.
Well, it looks like there's going to be a card shown here. I think there's some time wasting, it looks like. So Steph Negro...
You do not see time wasting in the first half very often.
Exactly what that was for. I think he stepped forward. I'm not quite...
Was it consent or dissent maybe to the fans behind him or something? Consent. Dissent to the fans behind him perhaps?
But the ball comes out in the end. So 2 yellows for both fullbacks here for Green Gully. Matthews again, his distribution is being a little bit off tonight. Georgopoulos under some serious pressure there from Phoenix and hunting him down as that ball was coming under control. Cross around the grounds at the moment, still 0-0. Cross between Heidelberg United and Dandenong City. Lampard now on the throw, taken quickly, headed down. Holmes there, clears away. Now Pachkowski looking to drive forward on the left-hand side. Negro just trying to keep up with him here. Pachkowski got some supporting Guest. Does find him, he's got some movement inside, and Decker holds onto the ball. Now back out to Guest. He's got a bit of space, or Pachkowski rather, to deliver. In the end, had it cleared by Jones. It was a good delivery that time, but no one there on the end of it. And a good little pass forward there to Georgopoulos. Wait for Gully to come forward. Comes onto it there, Georgopoulos. And cleared high and long forward. Disappointing from Oakleigh there. Had a good delivery into the area and just no one really attacking the ball into the central position.
Well, I think if anyone's going to be there, it would be Harry White, but I think he was stationed just a little bit further back, maybe to the left-hand side. Not in the prime position to receive that ball, but I think Oakleigh maybe just finding their rhythm with these crosses. They are getting the balls out wide and they are getting good deliveries in. If they can keep that up consistently, I think they are going to cause problems, maybe cause Green Gully to adjust themselves slightly to the fact they're getting out wide so quickly.
There's been a bit of a clash out there between Joe Guest and looks like
Georgopoulos perhaps? No,
it's not Georgopoulos. Looks like it was Christian Bomora. It was a 50-50 challenge, both going for the ball. I think Guest might have just gotten to it first, and as they were both colliding, clash of shins it looks like. Now, Bomora is saying that he's all good to go, so not asking for the trainer to get on the field. Oakleigh Cannons in the meantime do have their trainer on the field. added time goes on the board. It will be 1 minute of stoppage time here. 1 minute of stoppage time to be played. So final opportunities here, potentially for a second goal for Green Gully. Now referee Michael Mummas has asked for the ball to be placed on the deck and kicked back to Green Gully goalkeeper. So they do restart. Now Joe Guest has been allowed back on the field. So one last chance here maybe for a late second goal here for Green Gully. Salmon turns, looks up, great switch of play by Mora. Under control, but there's some pressure there from Hamish Miller, and then goes back to Walker. Puts it in towards the area, but Fiore off his line quickly. That might well be the last play of this first half. See in the second half just how Oakleigh respond to this first period. Of course, being down at half time, not something they've been so accustomed to so far this season. Now that's going to be a free kick, and again this might well be the last chance of the first half now. So we are getting into injury time here. Of course that 1 minute was added on. Now Davies to be a bit cheeky and take it quickly, but it's going to be brought back here.
Oh, Tyson Holmes with some cheeky time wasting of himself.
Well, this could well be the last chance of the first half. Walker standing over this set piece. A lot of wind behind this ball. Leaves in the end here for Alex Salmon. Now,
have a go.
We did see Stevie Hewitt for Hume City score an absolute belter from similar range last week.
Ooh.
And that one there from Alex Salmon was absolutely nothing like it.
For those who caught that goal, there was a fantastic voice break. None from you today, Brandon.
None from me so far, but that doesn't mean it won't come in this second period. But at the moment, it is Green Gully with one of the potential upsets of the opening few rounds of the season. They lead Oakleigh by 1-0 here at the break at Jack Edwards Reserve. A well-taken goal from Alex Salmon midway through that first half, enough for the visitors to be in the lead going into the break. But Ed, still a lot of football to be played, a few chances there for Oakleigh, still anyone's game, but a great first period from the visitors.
Really interesting second half to come. Both teams playing different styles of football. The tactical approach has been really, really interesting. That goal from Alex Salmon, perhaps summing up the way Green Gully have been playing with their counter-attacking football, but Oakleigh, they have made chances. They've gotten out wide. It's just the final ball that they've struggled to get in the first half.
Well, plenty of football still to be played here in the second period. At half-time, it's the Oakleigh Cannons down by 1-0 against Green Gully. We'll be back shortly with the second period. Well, we welcome you back to round 5 NPL Victoria action here for the second half at Jack Edwards Reserve. The Oakleigh Cannons down by 1-0 against Green Gully after a very intensely fought first half. Alex Salmon's goal midway through that first period, enough at the moment for them to have the advantage. But myself, Brandon Galgano, and with me tonight is Ed Gooden. And Ed, so far the Oakleigh Cannons have pushed and pushed but haven't really been able to break through. At the moment it's Green Gully in a great position here to take out what would be a momentous second 3 points in a row.
Well, it's going to be a really interesting first 15 minutes here, Brandon. How do Oakleigh approach chasing the game? How do they set themselves up? And then Green Gully as well. We know they will perhaps maybe go on the back foot a little bit, knowing they have the 1-goal lead, maybe step back slightly and absorb a bit of pressure. But if they can keep up the intensity, keep up the press, at least for the first 15 to 20 minutes, could see them through for, as you mentioned, a historic victory.
Well, as we said, the first period was a closely fought affair. Green Gully really just took their chance well. Alex Salmon, a wonderful delivery from Jordan Lampard, a long set piece over the top. It seemed like a position of absolutely no danger. Free kick virtually on the halfway line. He pinned an absolutely world-class pass. And Alex Salmon chesting it down and then firing home the finish. Absolutely outstanding from the Green Gully number 9, his third goal of the season. First from open play, and we're certainly pleased that he's got himself back onto the scoring sheet. As you mentioned, 21 goals last season, a fantastic record. Now the ball into the area here, and as we said, the second period here was a much of how to Oakleigh respond, decide that they fancy them to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. With Chris Tabor's teams, they're always synonymous with being able to stay in games for as long as possible. As the box goes out for a goal kick, and again, that'll be the interesting thing I think here tonight, Ed. You know, they haven't really been tested, I think, massively so far this season. The only points they've dropped so far, of course, that South Melbourne game where, you know, they were down to 10 men for a majority of that, still probably in control as well. So I think that's the thing where tonight, you know, it is a bit more of a tested character.
Well, it's almost two opposing factors for Green Gully and Oakleigh. Green Gully, they've played against decent opposition and have fallen short. Obviously, they lost 2-0 to the fantastic Hume City at the start of the year, and then they've struggled a little bit as well. But Oakleigh, other than their first result against Avondale and round 1, we know how maybe non-telling that can be. But this is, as you mentioned, the first test, and the first time they've really been behind and chasing a game as well.
Well, the set piece here, taken long over the top, headed away. So now a chance for Robertson to get there, and in the end just puts it out for a throw. It's safe. At the back, of course, a number of players who could come in off the bench. Gordon Zorich, of course, getting a goal last week himself, being one of those major ones who could come in. They also was very impressive, I thought, when he came on in the second half. Not really an attacking option, but a very good defensive midfielder. There's Marcus Dimanche as well, a younger player in that lineup. He's been known to be able to get off the bench and score the occasional goal as well. It is a depth game though in these Victorian leagues, throughout all the state leagues as well. Side with the players you can maintain over the course of a season, and even with injuries and suspensions can still have a strong lineup. Usually the ones that do well. Now Tommy Matthews has gone down, and he stayed down there after that clash. A little bit ginger to get up there is Tommy Matthews, of course, seasoned battler in the NPL. And when he came down to South Melbourne in 2011, off my memory, from England. Tyson Holmes, under pressure there from Georgopoulos, goes out for the throw. So Miller looking to take. Comes in short there to Guest, who drives into the touchline. Good ball as well, but goalkeeper off his line and well held there for Jared Tyson.
Although the dangerous positions that Joe Guest can find himself in and conjure an opportunity for this Cannon side, but hasn't really been able to find himself kind of sneak behind the lines and find those little pockets of space so far this game. Perhaps different going into the second half.
The final ball as well, I think that's been something which has just been lacking a little bit for Oakleigh. They've gone into some good positions of threat, haven't really quite been able to make the most of them. Now that ball in behind, Pachkowski, if he gets there, could be dangerous. Onto that left-hand side here, He's drawn wide and he's cried for a handball, but it was a half-hearted appeal, I think. Just couldn't quite sit for him there. Negro looks up, Salmon flicks into the path there by Mora, under some pressure there from Robertson, and in the end, he's put his man into the fence, and not only is he in the fence, but he's also won himself a goal kick, so it's a very strong defending there from the central defender. Well, Stephen Downs is certainly not happy about that.
No, it looked like he took a bit of a tumble down here on the concrete area just before the fence, but I think it was a good shoulder to shoulder, just maybe a stronger bit of momentum, maybe driving him over the line and into the fence. But he looks like he's up and about, and he's all good.
Dropoulos, the young midfielder, getting on to that. Flicked on there by Decker. And cleared forward, but again. It's going to be Robertson on the ball now for Oakleigh. Pachkowski. Again looking for the early delivery, not quite able to find anyone. Comes back out to Pachkowski a second time. Miller. Again blocked there by Negro. He's done well to get across and cover his man. Bit of a mix-up there between Georgopoulos though, and by Mora. Falls to Holmes, plays forwards into feet. Edge of the area, here's Guest. Now Decker. Looks to cross it again, Negro blocking the ball into the area. And that's going to be a corner kick. Some good pressure here from Oakleigh.
It's a little bit of pace and movement in the passing here from Oakleigh. Joey Guest getting on the ball a little bit. Ryan Pachkowski also providing a little bit of flair, getting in good positions out wide.
Corner kick here to be taken by Pachkowski. Whipped high in towards the area. Over the top there. Another half cry for handball not given. It's going to be out for a throw. So Tommy Matthews to take this time. Just trying to challenge that time now. Salmon. Davies. Down here to Hamish Miller. Sheeny, Miller. Warren did well there to win that ball back. And now Georgopoulos on the ball midfield. Very nippy on the ball in there, the youngster. Negro. Davies. Little whip away pass. Very similar style of play to Josh Knight, actually. The way that both of them play. Little flick away passes, little flicks. Of course, Josh Knight, very well known player in the NPL and NPL 2. And the players played with you last year at Oakleigh Lions. Now it's by Mora driving forwards in towards his fullback here. Gets into the touchline, blocked well, out for the throw.
How tight is the touch there for Georgopoulos? Bring that one down and feed his teammate there. And Jay Davies is
a very impressive young
fantastic young player.
Georgopoulos, of course, broke onto the scene last year. I believe he's only 16, 17 years of age. He looks actually a lot younger. When
There's an 11-year-old on the field. Get the ball boy off.
But he's certainly got such a great touch, very good awareness for a young player as well. Makes good decisions on the ball, very technically adept. Plays positively, looks forwards. One of the things which you don't see too often from young players, especially when they break into the top level, you're just able to, despite his size and stature as well, able to hold himself really well physically. I think that's something which is really impressive. Again, faith of playing in a NPL midfield, get such experience, only going to hold you in good stead for the future. Now, Geslick's out wide. Pachkowski, one-on-one with his defender, cuts inside to Holmes. He might need to get himself a shot here. He does. Holmes, blocked by Georgopoulos, falls out wide there to Matthews. Can he get the delivery right? No, he can't. Comes out a second time, clips into the area. Decker, header, not clear. Now Davies, chance to break it potentially if he can look up and find a man. Spears it out wide, falls to Salmon well. Miller putting under some good pressure in the end.
Relax. Move away. Leave the ball.
Just getting himself in the way of the ball there. Hamish Miller, of course, the brother of Matthew Miller, another, well, you call him a graduate from the NPL, playing in the A-League now, with the Newcastle Jets, formerly with the Central Coast Mariners. many years in the top flight of Victoria here with Dandenong Thunder initially, then Melbourne City's NPL side, then South Melbourne for a number of years. Ball whipped into the middle again, and Tyson off his line well.
I think he was there to meet it as well. I think the options in the middle for Oakleigh really aren't making maybe enough noise for them as the ball's coming in. They're maybe not meeting the ball as quickly as they would have liked.
Well, I think it's just that ability to create in the final third has just been lacking tonight. And it's such a stark change from last weekend where they were just so deadly whenever they got into the final third. Got to give some credit though to the Green Gully defensive structure. They have been so solid, especially from balls into the box. Miller. Tashkowski kept it alive well. White. Some serious pressure there. He's winning a throw. Taken quickly by Pachkowski. White again. Holding off his man. Whips into the box. Edge of the area. Gas slips in. Holmes surely. Oh, what a chance. What a chance. Tyson Holmes. Great football there on the edge of the area. Joe Guest slipping him in. And you've got to say, that has to be a goal there from the experienced midfielder. Just leaning back as he struck that. And the ball's over the bar and out for a goal kick.
What a touch by Joe Guest to bring that one down to Tyson Holmes. And of all the players you'd want running onto that one in a box-to-box midfield type of play, it would be Tyson Holmes. It looked like he wanted to go top bins. He wanted to go to the far right-hand corner. But as you mentioned, he's just leaning back and just putting it over the top of the crossbar. But for Oakleigh, you can take positives from that type of chance. You can take positive from Joe Guest finding himself in those dangerous spaces.
What an opportunity that was. Best of the game so far for Oakleigh. Really there. Such a good position for a right-footed side foot into the bottom corner, or top corner rather, either of the two. Just don't get it over the bar, anything on target. It's really too close for the goalkeeper reacting. This is straight at him. Well, all those chances come back to haunt Oakleigh. Robertson looks forwards, and it goes out for a goal, throw in. Got to say as well, some good pressure was applied by, I think it was Jordan Hall, just to get enough body presence around there to just make Tyson maybe panic a little bit as he hit that over the bar. Taken now. Kicks down, Guest. Again, strong challenge from Davies has really had that role tonight of just making sure that he doesn't have too much time and space to attack, and that ball over the top. Pachkowski wasn't able to keep alive.
I think Pachkowski and Wade Decker might have swapped wings here as well. It might just be more of that rolling three attacking midfielders coming and going, maybe looking to get Wade Decker on the ball a little bit, as the ball has been on this left-hand side, but as soon as he switches over, it goes to the right-hand side. So.
Well, again, it just does give you that opportunity. Of course, they're both left and right-sided players, and playing on their opposing winger as an inverted winger, it means they can sort of cut inside and drive that goal a bit more dangerous, rather than looking to whip a ball into the box. And that hasn't really worked for them tonight so far. So you can get the likes of Pachkowski or Decker on the ball, cutting inside on their preferred foot in the box, maybe. That one. Going straight through Hamish Miller. Definitely yellow card at the very least. Chris Taylor is definitely not happy about that. Not the Knights at home.
Fucking bullshit! Come from fucking behind!
Coach! Michael Amis is going across, and he's got a red card out for Chris Taylor, so he has been sent off. Now that is...
What's his for? What's he actually done wrong?
Quite remarkable, to be fair. He was quite animated about it, but I didn't think that he really diverted too many expletives towards the referee. So Chris Taylor has been sent off for that. Now Hamish Miller is the one that was absolutely collected in that instance.
I think the referees heard the language used and heard the dissent used. He's left his technical area, he's come to the halfway line. You can see him leaving the ground there. But I think the referee, if he hears that type of language, if he hears the anger in Chris Taylor's voice, he really has to maybe put a foot down. The challenge itself was a nasty one. Chris Taylor obviously displeased. It was one of those where many would argue he was going for the ball, but I think the fact a yellow card came out, the referee had to admit that he was going for the man. And it really came out of nowhere a little bit, didn't it, Brandon? It was the game was seeming to be just at a steady pace, but it looks like it's just kind of taken off a little bit here.
Well, Bymora definitely went through Hamish Miller there with that. And it was a late challenge, and to be fair to Chris Taylor, it was a dangerous one as well.
Pretty nasty.
Especially when Hamish Miller's in midair and he's sort of hit the ground quite hard as well. It can actually end quite badly if you land awkwardly. But
I mean, that's a foul in rugby.
But I think Chris Taylor, as much as he was getting animated there, I don't think it probably warranted a sending off. He wasn't really directing too much at the referee. I think it was more frustration at the challenge itself.
It's more at Brymora than anything, not the referee.
It's a long way in his technical area, but no. At the end of the day, they are cracking down on that sort of language around here in the NPL. So, again, Oakleigh, of course, haven't lost anyone on the field, but losing their chief technician off it could present some challenges. Long ball over the top. Walker with the clearance. And underneath that was Tommy Matthews. Does go out for a throw. So Green Gully in a good position at the moment, though. Again, they've ridden out some early pressure in the second half. It's always the challenge when you come early in these second periods. They've maintained themselves well here and keeping themselves in a great position to maybe pick up some points here. Feely goes high and long over the top. Headed down strongly. Davies on the ball, turns outwards there. Now Walker looking to come forwards here. He's got some movement in front of him. Walker goes into Georgopoulos now. Bit of space in front of him. Looks to whip into the area. Just couldn't quite find the run of someone in the box. In the end, it's Tommy Matthews who can come forward on the ball here.
Smashing ball by Georgopoulos to get that across. It looked like it was maybe just past him, but he wrapped his foot around it. He adjusted his body really, really well. The Green Gully attacker meeting it in the box was maybe just a little bit late, maybe not tall enough to reach that one, but again, promising for Green Gully, especially with Georgopoulos.
Miller did well to keep that there. Decker. In the box for Sheeny. Looked like he was going to line up the shot initially. Thought against it. Comes out wide here. Flicks into the path of Matthews. Can he cross under some pressure? In the end, it is out for a corner.
Set piece again here for Oakleigh. If they can get the delivery right, we know the danger they have there in Harry White and Miller coming forward. The tall timber in the box.
This is a chance. It's Pachkowski to take this corner kick. Just whipped in towards the near post. Comes away, Holmes, Pachkowski. Under some pressure there. Georgopoulos turns well, uses his body even better. Salmon lost it though. Chance for Decker. Comes out here on the edge of the box. Cleared away again. Georgopoulos gets it under control. He was hoofed forward there in the end. Fletcher was in an offside position. Unfortunate because he was in a good position there to get forward. Now he's kicked the ball away. Fletcher's going to get a yellow card for that. Silly looking to pick up there. Not required. So Oakleigh take this quickly. Matthews. Holmes. Looks forward. It's given away. Lampard. Driving towards midfield. Again, looks up for a quick ball over the top. It's a good one there. Fletcher. Kelly was first to it and for a throw.
A little bit of space here for Green Gully. Alex Salmon will look to get on the ball. That ball this sent long might have met him and perhaps Rongola was able to beat his defender, but Oakleigh being spread open a little bit. I think they need to just get a bit more compact and stay on top of things.
Now a chance to drive forward here. Fletcher's done really well. He's got an option in the middle as well. It's a great chance. Oh, it's a wonderful save from Feely. A wonderful save from the Oakleigh Cannons goalkeeper. Bymora thought he had to score there, but the goalkeeper spread himself well off his line, made himself big, and in the end it's out for a corner kick.
It was a fantastic save by they feel. It was Matthew Fletcher who found himself in acres of space on the left hand side, and he's smartly cut one back to Bymora, but Feely was off his line so quickly, spreading himself open and making a fantastic save.
Taken there by Davies, whipped in deep towards the middle of the box, headed clear. First out to it, there's for Sheeny. Drive past his man there, but well defended there by Jeremy Walker. So much experience. 2 ex-A-League players there. Ex-Melbourne Heart player in Walker, ex-Melbourne Victory player in Fashini.
A bit of a derby.
Bit of a derby. They would have played against each other, I think, back in the original Melbourne derbies. Back when they were both at those respective clubs. As that ball comes over the top as well. With his line quickly was Tyson. So I guess it's still that dodgy little, I like to say, brick trick where they just sit behind the goalkeeper, wait for him to potentially drop it so he can just nip in and take the ball off his feet.
I think the word dodgy is quite accurate, actually.
Ball comes over the top. Knowles, sorry, not Knowles, he's not playing tonight. Portelli, under no pressure on the ball, comes forward here. Decker goes back into Holmes. Hasn't really got any forward options on, so goes back out wide to Matthews. He can come forward in towards midfield. Bounces well off his man there, Tom Matthews. Just couldn't quite drive into the space though. Fashini looks wide. Holmes. Good area here to maybe get a ball into the box, but comes out there to Portelli again.
Squeeze it! Jonesy, fucking bring us up!
Now Guest. Intercepted there, Georgopoulos comes forward now. Salmon trying to make movement in front of him. Good challenge there though from Fashini. And again, Oakleigh can come forward here through Pachkowski this time. Centering pass. Won't find anyone. Cleared right up the number again. Salmon underneath, sorry, Fletcher underneath the ball. Flicks to Salmon, turns, got it out his feet initially. Now it's Matthew Fletcher. Is this the chance to seal it for Green Gully? No, he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper. And in the end, it's cleared away for Matthew Fletcher. He was just a little bit too cute there as he ran into goal. And in the end, the goalkeeper stood up big and made sure he wasn't going to be beaten.
It's really, really good goalkeeping there from Feely. The fact he was able to stay up tall, that's what they teach the goalkeepers these days, is stay up nice and high and be able to combat the chip that Fletcher was going for there. I think he might have been best suited maybe going hard left, hard right. There was a lot of space in the goal. He was really, really far out, the goalkeeper, but fantastic again to read the chip and to stay up nice and tall and nice and big.
Well, he's made two really important saves here, Nick Feely. Both of them have been in the last few minutes. Green Gully looking to kill this game off as we tick towards the last 20 minutes here. Ball whipped in high into the box. Comes down and in the end it's cleared. Lampard, last man at the back there. Composed on the ball, finds Walker. Now back to Negro. Georgopoulos. In the end, just thrown off there by Pachkowski. Georgopoulos now. That's some really good little footwork there from the youngster.
It's like a substitute being prepared here, Brandon. I think it's Ryan Pachkowski coming off for Oakleigh. Yet to see who's coming on. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd love to see that from Georgopoulos, especially after he just got absolutely thrown into the ground there by Pachkowski. Next time he gets the ball, tight space again, not phased by the lack of size, just a little flick past his man.
He looked like he was trapped for all measure. Any other player on the field would have been trapped in there, but very, very tidy touch.
So Oakleigh is going to come on here. A matter of when. Is this going to be another throw here for Green Gully? He's really starting to get nippy out here tonight. Seymour has well and truly ended here in Melbourne. Negro looks to go short by Mora. Pressure there, in the end it goes out for a goal kick.
It's getting a little bit tetchy out there, I think. Green Gully are maybe causing a little bit of frustration for Oakleigh, and that's something they definitely don't need if they're going to be chasing a game.
Tally coming forward here. Now we're going to make that change. And it's going to be Ryan Pachkowski to come off and Oliver Coulibaly to come on. A little bit frustrated is Pachkowski. Along here comes Coulibaly, who was quite impressive last week, I thought, off the bench. So a frustrated man, Pachkowski. Straight onto the bench. Takes a seat. It'll be interesting to see what they move around there, with Coulibaly being more of a central midfielder. Looks like They might have gone to Sheeny playing out wide, it looks like. So away. Matthews. Central area, Holmes into the box, looks to cross, but can't quite find anyone with the delivery again. Now for a goal kick. It's been the story of the night so far tonight, hasn't it, Ed? Just no real final product for Oakleigh Cannons.
Well, they found themselves in decent spaces and decent opportunities, but as you mentioned, it is just that final ball that they haven't been able to find. Harry White has had little to no service from his midfield. Joe Guesses has been decent, but you look at someone like Wade Decker, he hasn't had a huge impact tonight. We haven't seen too many sparks from him, so he'll look to be getting on to the end of maybe some chances when there's a little bit more tired legs at the end of this game.
Well, meanwhile, around the grounds, Heidelberg United have taken the lead against Randolph City. And it's Jordan Wilkins who's scored the goal. Not a standard goal scorer, but right back coming forward, and Josh Wilkins scoring the goal. So a big moment for them. Now a foul there given against Joe Guest. Definitely Grove pulling up a little bit sore after that. Here's another set piece opportunity here for Green Gully. Walk up, looks up, spears it high in towards the area. Head it down and away. Georgopoulos under some pressure there. Now Guest, he's brought down, there has to be a foul. So we've said it a few times, but he's been in the wars tonight, Joe Guest. Got a very close contact. Still, hopefully looking to try and break this Green Gully side down.
Work on back! Work on back! Work on back! Stay up! Stay up!
Yes, it's just not really on the same wavelength as his teammates.
It's a tough there for Joe. Touch. It's a tough ball there for Joe Guest to control as he's coming straight out of the midfield and meeting a pass. I think Oakleigh really haven't produced enough options for him past himself. If he's coming out to meet a ball from the midfield directly from his defenders, there almost has to be immediate movement from the Oakleigh players behind him, pushing into the final third, but we just haven't really seen it so far tonight. Perhaps it's a communication, perhaps it's just having an off night, but it's been difficult for Oakleigh.
That ball goes out for a throw. Matthews looks to take quickly. Spears it forward there. For a throw again, so Fashini just chases that down into the corner. So Tom Matthews to take it. Short in towards Guest. Down again, Guest on the ball. Centering pass. Laid a bit of space here. Just couldn't quite find anyone with the pass forward. Poor ball. And it's Tyson here, looks up and plays high and more forwards. So Dropper strong in the air. Gully gets out wide now, Miller, looks correct. Again given away, just forcing the ball a little bit now, Oakleigh. 20 minutes to play here. Just under that, and still 1-0 here for Green Gully. Alex Salmon's goal still separating the two sides. Fashini attacking in a wide area here. Matthew Fashini still going. Now referee's giving a foul.
Interesting one. It was hard to tell who actually had the ball in that exchange, but maybe Fashini just put a foot in and maybe won the ball. Not to the referee's liking, at least not to the assistant referee's liking on that far side.
Again, it's been a frustrating night, I think, for Oakleigh going forward, and I've had a few little decisions maybe not go their way as well. Sending off Chris Taylor might have been one of them. Salmon putting some pressure on there. Cleared away by Matthews. Flicked on. Cleared away there by Hall. Miller.
Oh.
And able to keep it alive, so Waimora just did enough.
Hearing words from the Oakleigh coaching staff that there's still enough time and that the Cannons just need to calm down a little bit, maybe find their place on the ball, but they're struggling to do so at the moment.
Georgiopoulos, again, been impressive now. He's retained the ball under pressure tonight. Looks like it might have been out, not given. Headed down the way, Robinson Davies. To spear that ball out wide, but ambitious with the delivery. Sheeny gets it down, Portelli. Guest turning, looking to drive forwards here. For a throw again, so Joe Guest on the ball, goes back to Matthews.
Green Gully being told to stay up and not to sit back and soak this Oakleigh pressure, to be proactive.
Walker driving forwards. Looks ahead of himself. Salmon flips it into the path of Fletcher. Comes out here, Georgiopoulos to drag it back to himself. Waimora now on the second attempt. Looks to get into the middle, good pass. Good flick as well, blocked initially from Fletcher. Still Fletcher, brought down, no foul. Georgiopoulos has scored, and Green Gully lead by 2 goals to nil. Snuck it in, the youngster. He's been around it all day today. So impressive that was. And in the end, he's taken his chance to the near post. He's finished it into the corner. And Green Gully lead by 2 goals to nil.
Well, a man of the match performance for Georgiopoulos is topped off with a goal. It was Matthew Fletcher, had a few bites at the apple before eventually falling to Georgiopoulos on a really, really tough angle. He's managed to sneak it past Feely just underneath and into the open goal. But what an impressive player he's been tonight. What a fantastic and proactive goal. To have the energy, to have the instincts to jump on that goal. Fantastic by the young man.
Well, a really, really well taken finish from Georgiopoulos. And that is a massive moment in this game. And Oakleigh, who have been riding maybe a little bit fortunately in the last part of this second period, some good saves from the goalkeepers really kept them in it. Now, with so much work to do, wasn't a handball. Referee says no. It's in a position of forward danger anyway. Walker ambitious over the top, Feely off his line. And you just got to think what Oakleigh have got to do to get back into this game. Green Gully has been so well set up. They've been so well organised tonight. Confident as well after last week's win. Decker gets it down, plays centrally. Guest just couldn't quite get it under control. Waimora, Negro gets it out his feet, does well. Plays it forwards, good pass as well. Salmon's in here. That's a great finish from Alex Salmon. And it's surely the 3 points wrapped up now. The goalkeeper was off his line. He couldn't quite get there. And Alex Salmon, that is absolute class.
Wild celebrations for the Green Gully boys as they make their way to the coaching staff. It was the goalkeeper, Nick Feely, who came, but then he went back to his line, and then Alex Salmon sat on the ball, got a left foot on it, so composed. Fantastic ball by Stefan Negro to get him in on goal in the first place. But Green Gully, 3-0 now. They will be walking away with the 3 points and walking away with back-to-back wins and back-to-back fantastic performances.
Well, what a pass it was from Stefan Negro to pick him out. That was absolutely sensational. And Alex Salmon, the composure on that finish is the biggest difference there. He's got a goalkeeper running at his head. He's got defenders chasing him down from behind. The ball's bouncing in the air. But just to not only control that, but just to roll it home under his feet into the corner. Well, that is the make of an absolutely top-class number 9. Now they're making a very attacking-minded change here. Oakleigh, Goran Zoric is coming on. Lucas Portelli's coming off. They're going to 3 at the back, so looks like they're playing 2 strikers in a 3-5-2 with Zoric out wide, Fashini out wide as well. So very attacking-minded here as Decker gets onto it into the box. Wade Decker, big moment here for Oakleigh. Great block as well at the back there. And in the end, Green Gully come away here.
Oh, Wade Decker, he's been very, very quiet tonight, but finding himself in a place maybe he wasn't quite used to tonight, through on goal.
Well, again, the defenders just did enough there. Zoric with his first touch comes out there to go Guest now. Looks to switch the play. Gully Bay. Now Matthews spearing ball over the top. Waimora clears it anywhere. Now Miller, turn. Zorich, centering pass given away. Cleared forwards again. Matthews now on it. Ball speared over the top again, but the goalkeeper onto it. Well, this is a momentous result for the Green Gully side. Of course, last weekend, big win against Heidelberg United. Many thinking maybe it was a one-off performance, maybe a lucky result, but they've certainly proven all of those doubters wrong. Fantastic display here. They've been so accomplished all over the ground, and they've absolutely deserved this tonight.
It's been, I wouldn't say dominant performance, but it's been emphatic. I think they've taken every chance they've had, and they've really held Oakleigh's creative presence and attacking presence to a T.
Ball into the box there, headed clear, edge of the area. Daniel Jones, one of the more experienced heads in the NPL, just doing his best to shuffle the ball out there. Now Salmon, another one who's just been so good when he's been on it in the final third tonight. Matthews clears. Brian Mora. Davies. Negro, ambitious pass, headed clear. Choppers couldn't get under control. Now Holmes looks forwards for Sheeny. Guess now. Looks forwards, spearing pass, intercepted. Comes down here to Hamish Miller. Plays forwards. Guest into the box, under some pressure there from his man. Still Guest. And that's going to be a goal kick.
Well, Brandon, you mentioned the tough start that Green Gully had to the start of the season. If we're looking ahead to the next couple of fixtures, obviously they've wrapped this one up in the 82nd minute, but next week they are hosting Altona Magic. We know the struggles they've had, and then the week after that, South Melbourne. This is, of course, all pending recent news and how it's affecting us in the football world, but again, fantastic performance tonight, and I think it was almost what we expected from the start of the season for Green Gully. We know how impressive they were last year, but maybe it's just taking a bit of time to step into things.
Well, again, just a matter of getting that first result. Always a big thing. Now that's offside. Very unfortunate. Green Gully coaching staff, who believe they were in line there, thinking it was well on.
They're unbiased, of course.
Absolutely. But well, as we said, it has been really coming of age, and you look at that run coming in, playing the likes of Altona, very much out of form. South Melbourne, they're both playing each other tonight, tomorrow. Again, the other side has been a little bit out of form. Could be a great opportunity to get a good run together for them. As we said tonight, taking it to one of the best sides in the NPL so far this season. It's really been impressive. Going out to Miller on the ball, looks to drive inside. Rolls outwards there, and that's going to be a goal kick again. Of course, around the grounds, Heidelberg still leading by a goal to nil against Dandenong City. So City still looking like they're going to be without a win after 5 games, a similar start to what they had last season. Remarkably, there are still 4 sides in the league without a result so far. The Melbourne Knights, Dandy City, Eastern Lions and Altona Magic. Of course, Dandy City the only side who have played so far this weekend. Of course, in action tonight. Tomorrow, of course, a few big clashes. St Albans taking on the Eastern Lions. St Albans have been remarkable, their best ever start in the NPL era to a top flight season. Altona Magic, of course, taking on South Melbourne, a huge clash for both those sides. Hume City, form side of the competition, top of the table at the moment against Bentley Greens.
They've been fantastic.
Coming of age, I think, performance for them tomorrow night. Of course, Avondale taking on Melbourne Knights.
If Hume City can get a result against Bentley Greens, put in a good performance, I think it'll really verify them as one of the, if not top team this season in the NPL.
Oh, it's been so impressive to start. Nick Hegarty, absolute credit to him, turning that around. A disappointing end to last season. Really showing some signs so far this campaign of being a side who can very much challenge now. Ball into the box. Harry White chips into the back. Oh, well, it's cleared off the line and then blocked and out for a corner. Now cries of handball and if it was over the line, but nothing given. Absolutely outstanding defending from Green Gully.
It was tough to see from our position here, Brandon, but there's voices coming from behind the goal that it might have snuck over the line, or maybe there was a handball, some sort of infringement, but the linesman is staying steady.
Corner kick here, whipped in towards the centre of the box. Headed down by Guest and out for a goal kick. Well, it has just not been the Cannons' night tonight.
Having a look at the replay here, Brandon, I don't think there are any appeals for handball, but I think it was the question of whether it was over the line or not. It looked like it was the number 4 who was able to get a hoof on it, Jordan Hall, who was able to get a hoof on it and clear it away. I think it was just a question of how far the ball had gone.
Class from Salmon. Sorry to interrupt you there. And it's a chance deflected and cleared away. It's underneath it is Brymora. Not cleared convincingly by Miller. Salmon. Georgopoulos. Oh, he's not making him there, has he? If he's very close, it is a corner.
I think all the players to have time wasting in the corner. I don't think Georgopoulos is the man.
As I said earlier in the broadcast, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a very cheeky leg, and that was filthy there. Well, again, a chance now for Green Gully just to slow this down inside the last 5 minutes of normal time. Really are in a position here where it's last cast. They haven't made a change yet so far, Green Gully as well.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Certainly not. It's not broken tonight. Ball into the box. Headed down. Jones. Brymora backwards in there. Shot blocked. And now a chance for Oakleigh maybe to come forwards. Pass was short though. Jay Davies back to Georgopoulos. Didn't quite find anyone with the delivery. Now a chance for Zorich, and maybe Oakleigh can come forward here. Ball speared over the top towards Guest, but Tyson off his line quickly. Tyson high up and under again. Ball holds up in that wind. He plays underneath it. Robertson in the end does get it over the top. Guest, goalkeeper Cam didn't quite go for it, but Hall just timed the bounce of the ball really well. Say the whole back four for Green Gully have been impressive tonight. Jones, Hall, Negro and Lampard on both sides. Both fullbacks have assists tonight. Both centre-backs haven't been able to get penetrated at all. Exactly what you'd want from your defensive line. And Fashini brought down, foul given.
I think it just gives the team just an overall confidence, Brandon, having the quality in the back line. And you mentioned the two centre-backs have been so compact and so good in the air as well.
Ball into the area. Tyson holds. We're ticking towards the final few minutes of normal time here. Oakleigh still have a change under their sleeve as well, which they've chosen not to go ahead with so far. Zorich. Down, Holmes. Holmes, not much movement at all in front of the ball. Barley on Bibay. Holmes, now Matthews. Stepping forwards into his half. Green Gully happy to really just be compact behind the ball. Sheeny driving forwards on this right hand side. Potentially looking to cross here. Still got the ball as Matthew Fashini. Holmes now. It's forwards, we're given away, and you've got to maybe just think back to that chance that Tyson Holmes had midway through this second half. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper into the area. 1-0 down at the time. Would have been an equaliser. Should have scored. You just got to think, if that goes in, what kind of a game are we watching here tonight?
Well, it seems like a while ago now that chance did happen, obviously sending it straight over the bar, but it would have really changed the atmosphere of this game. It would have really made Green Gully get back on the front foot as we saw them at the start of the game when Oakleigh were maybe having a little bit more control over the game, but it was Tyson Holmes who put it over the bar, and it was Green Gully who capitalised, grabbing another 2 goals in this second half.
Lampard, somehow that's not given as a foul. Quite remarkable, really. You can just hear again Stevie Laurie just asking the question if there's any danger of a foul. Not given though. Decker out wide here. Harry White, good shooting chance.
Ooh.
Great hands from Jared Tyson. Saw it all the way into his gloves and just grasped that. Didn't let that one go.
The fact he was able to catch that one was really crucial. Wade Decker was ready to poach on it and slot it back home, but fantastic goalkeeping to have that one stick in the hands from a firm strike from Harry White.
3 minutes of added time to be played here, signalled by the 4th official. So 3 minutes it will be. Now on the wide area here. Sheeny whips in towards the middle. Good chance. Great save again. White at the for the ball. Second shot's blocked. Tyson Holmes there now this time. Shot blocked again. Sturdy defending by Green Gully. Absolutely not willing to let anything through tonight. Holmes. Can he cross? Again blocked there. And now they can look to come 40 on the counter-attack. And the foul is given in. It just won't go in for Oakleigh tonight.
It's just not their night tonight, Brandon. And the scuffle in the box, and Harry White maybe getting a shot off and getting one on target, but a man in blue is there, or a man in green rather, is there to steer it away. And Green Gully, the fact they haven't made a change, the fact they've stuck with the 11 men we see on the pitch now after a fantastic result is really testament to how they want to see their season going. I think they want to drum this winning mentality into the players they have here and to really kickstart their season. We saw it last week with the win over Heidelberg. We maybe question whether it was just a one-off performance, but tonight has really added them as perhaps one of the contenders coming into the top 6. We are going to see that change coming in.
Zorich, bit of space out his feet, slips it inside. Harry White, good chance now, surely. Oh, and wide. Again, just will not go in. Now they are making a change. It is going to be the youngster Nicholas Georgopoulos who's going to come off. What a performance from him tonight. A goal, a fantastic performance all round. So good on the ball. He's coming off, and coming on is Adisiu Bayou. So a late change here. Really great performance.
Well, it's one of the more fantastic performances I've seen in the NPL this season and over the last couple of seasons as well. You see him coming off. He is a very, very young man, Brandon. He's not old. But the performance we saw today was of an experienced midfielder. You mentioned the fact we don't see young players coming into the NPL system and filling that position and having the characteristics that he has. Usually they have a lot of pace, they have a lot of dribbling, they're exciting to watch, but a cool head on his shoulders and a really classy left and right foot to open up a whole bunch of chances for Green Gully and really to just be the ticker in the heart of the Green Gully midfield tonight.
Well, a late set piece here. Is there some consolation goals for Oakleigh? Into the box, and the foul given there. Got to give some credit though as well to the Green Gully coaching staff for how they've set up tonight. Really, really well organised. They came in with a plan tonight, not to allow any space between the lines, to be really compact behind the ball, which have done that. And then when they went forward, they've just been really dangerous and looked like they've created so many good chances too. Alex Salmon, 2 well-taken goals. That's a dangerous thought as well, him getting back into some good form. But again, you just got to think about, the decisions they've put, Jeremy Walker into midfield with Jay Davies, really isolating the threat of Joe Guest, not allowing him any time and space on the ball. Georgopoulos in front of that with a lot of creative freedom. It's just been really well set up tonight.
And that is full time here, Brandon. A fantastic performance by Green Gully. Not Oakleigh's night tonight, but as you mentioned, I think credit goes to the way Green Gully set up, the way they approached the game, the positions that they filled, and the Oakleigh Cannons' talent that they managed to shut down as well with that setup.
Well, what a performance it was. 3-0 the final score, with a double from Alex Salmon and a goal from Nicholas Georgopoulos. Enough for the visiting side to record a momentous victory here. Of course, the Oakleigh Cannons, their first defeat of the season. They now will stay for the moment in second place in the NPL Victoria table. They also lost their manager, Chris Taylor, halfway through this second half with a red card. It's going to be a big week for them coming in after this. A disappointing result, their first loss of the season. Just how will they bounce back to the question?
Well, it's going to be very, very interesting. It's interesting to see where Oakleigh are going to approach the next game and how they're going to maybe see the next couple of rounds and maybe how we're going to view their performance. Is this just a one-off? Is it just an off night? We know how well Green Gully were, but if we're looking to an Oakleigh perspective, is this maybe a stuttering start to their season? We know the troubles they had last season, finishing it off well with a fantastic unbeaten run, but questions to be asked of Oakleigh Cannons.
Well, around the grounds it's still 1-0 between Heidelberg United and Dandenong City. That's late into stoppage time as well. But here at full time at Jack Edwards Reserve, it is Green Gully recording a second straight victory against one of the favourites of the league. A 3-0 win at Jack Edwards Reserve tonight from the commentary team, Brandon Galgano and Ed Gooden. Goodbye for now.